Hey everyone, Jamie here from TechnicalCafe.com, and in this tutorial we're going to be talking about accessor and mutator methods in Java, which are also called setter and getter methods, and how we can use them to access and even change or update encapsulated data that's been set to private or something like that. So what we have here is a bankaccount.java class, which has three variables. We have an int called account number, a string called account holder, and a double called balance. And these represent the information for a fictitious bank account holder. In this case, it's me. Coming over here to main.java, you'll notice that we have the main method in this class here, and we've instantiated an object of the bank account class called myAccount. Nothing else is really going on in this class, nothing too interesting here. So if we come back to bankaccount.java, you'll notice that all of these variables here are using the default access modifier, and that's simply because they don't have any access modifier in front of them. So they're going to be by default accessible to the package. So we can go ahead and access the data from these. So let's take, for example, the balance variable here. We can go ahead and access that and print it to the screen by saying system.out.println myAccount.balance. And if we go ahead and compile this code and run it, you'll notice that we do get our balance of 250.0, which is what we have in the class here. However, this isn't necessarily the safest way to go about having variables like this in your class. Especially for things like money, you're going to want to keep this pretty locked down. So what we can do is set this variable to private, which is going to make it only accessible within this bankaccount.java class, meaning only the code that we write here can use this variable here. And if we come over to main.java, you'll notice that now we have an error and a balance is underlined. And that's because it says the field bankaccount.balance is not visible. So if we were to go ahead and try to compile and run this, we're going to get an error here upon compilation. And then if we continue to run it, it's going to throw an exception. And it's going to say the field bankaccount.balance is not visible. Let's say that we ourselves want to be able to gain access to our balance in another class. This could be useful for something like an ATM machine. You want to get your balance. Maybe online banking, you want to get your balance. But you don't want to have to worry about the possibility that somebody is going to use this notation here to maybe update your balance or change it or something like that without your permission. So you can go ahead and use what's called an accessor method, also known as a getter method, to get or access the data that's contained within this encapsulated variable here. So let's go ahead and write one. So in order to create a getter method, all you need to do is say double, because we're returning a double balance here. Your return type may vary depending on the data. And we're going to call it get balance, hence why they're called getters. And we're going to include a parameter list, but there's going to be nothing inside of it. It's going to be empty. And all we're going to do is just return balance. So when this method is called, it's just going to grab the value of balance up here, which is private. This code is still running in this class, and it's just going to spit out a number, which is going to be our balance. Let's go ahead and change this. So we'll say myAccount.getBalance, and we're going to use a parameter list here to call the method. There's nothing in it because it's empty. We don't need to put anything there. So let's go ahead and compile and run. And you'll notice that now we have our balance of 250.0. We were able to get our balance even though it is marked as private here. And that's what an accessor or getter method enables you to do. Let's say now we want to update our balance. Because it's private, we can't just do something like myAccount.balance plus equals 50. We can't just add $50 to it. Again, that's because it's not visible. And this is a good thing because we don't want somebody to be able to, say, for example, take money out of our account, so minus equals or something like that, without our permission. And again, you're gonna have more security than this, but this is just a basic example. So let's go ahead and write a mutator method or a setter method so that we can update our balance without having to actually touch the variable here within the class. So in order to do that, we're just going to write a void method. So void, because we're not returning anything, and we'll call it set balance. And within this parameter list here, let me just break this down. Within this parameter list here, we're going to have a double value, and we'll just call it AMT for amount. And within here, what we're going to do is say balance plus equals AMT. So what this method is doing is it's going to take a value called amount of type double, and it's going to add it to this variable called balance here within this bankaccount.java class. So this variable is going to be updated without us actually updating the variable within the main.java class itself. So it sounds kind of confusing, but once you've done it a few times, it's not too bad. So let's go ahead and show you how this works. Given that we can't just do my account dot balance plus equals 50 anymore, because that variable is private, we can just go ahead and say my account dot set balance, and then put 50 in here, and put .0 because it's a double, and then we can go ahead and print the new value of the balance. System dot out dot println my account dot get balance. And what we're going to see here is that our balance is going to be updated by 50. So we're going to add 50 to the value of our balance here with the set balance method, and then we're just going to return the value of the balance using the get balance method. So let's go ahead and compile and run. And notice that now we have the value of 50 we subtracted. Plus equals. So now if we compile and run it here, you'll notice that now we went from 250 to 300, and that error that we got before is because I said equals plus instead of plus equals. So now we went to $300. So if we come over here and did this again, we could say, for example, $100. So we should go up to $400 now. 350. Oh, that's because we didn't. This is still equal to 250 because we didn't update it. But that's basically how a setter and getter method works in Java. So feel free to play around with this. It's something that comes in handy quite a bit, especially when you're working with encapsulation and keeping data specific to certain classes. So feel free to play around with it. Let me know if you get any errors. Let me know if there's anything you want to see. And thank you for watching.